That, and then we also have. Oh, I know that. So people will. Yeah, it's fine. Well, it'll be bigger. I just don't think that.
Can people see?
Is there anyone down there?
Okay. I think they can see now.
They
They
can
can
see
see
it now?
this at least.
I hope they can hear. The only thing.
They should.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they can hear.
Okay.
But I'm gonna send them.
I'm assuming,
Yes, they can see for now.
I don't know if we want to,
Read it out.
yeah, I can't tell from that how much, like how, if it's too small. You know what? Can you like share screen? Oh, well, that's not gonna work actually.
That's not gonna work unless
Like-
you have your thing over here. Just give me the presentation so I can just put it in, email it to people, you know?
Well, I could definitely give you that. I don't wanna mess around with it. Yeah.
I'm gonna stop.
Gonna get started in 2 minutes.
When I get it out.
Ms. Martinez.
Yes, I'm not that.
They're here, we're here. She's for CB 17. They're in CB 17. Oh, sweet. My mother made. I'm an old board member. Yeah.
Which slides? Yeah, sure.
Just like that.
Well, I.
Yes, it's okay.
God, well, Michael is fine. Should I? It's fine. I guess I got it.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Tonight we are working on a zoning town hall meeting. I'm Allison Martinez, co-founder of Brooklyn Level Up, along with Rachel Goodfriend in the back. We will have the lineup for tonight. We will have our discussion, which will be led by Michael Higgins, formerly of the Brooklyn Movement Center, who will help us through this. And then we will have some interactive activities to put the learning into perspective. So. All right, so we do that. We will do some light introductions. Then we'll do a land acknowledgement. We will get into our discussion. You want me to make it bigger? Okay. I might have to move this back. Okay. And we can turn this light off too.
Sure. This is possible because it's still not going to see. If we roll this up, just project it on.
Let's try that.
It'll give the contrast.
Okay.
There's whatever.
Thank you.
Whatever there's activity,
You get this part off too?
Is that better?
Okay. Should we get that one off?
Well, I don't know where the switch is.
George, how do we get this light off? George, how do we get this light off? This. Is that better?
That's good, yeah.
All right,
Okay.
okay.
Check.
It's, yeah, they can see it.
Okay, they.
Okay. That's okay. All right, so let's try that again. So thank you for coming out tonight. I'm Allison Martinez, co-founder of Brooklyn Level Up, Rachel Goodfriend, co-founder as well. And this is our presenter for tonight, Michael Higgins from the Brooklyn Movement Center. So tonight we will go through some introductions. We will have a land acknowledgement. We'll learn a little bit more about zoning. We'll do some level setting that will actually feature the voices of some of the people in this room, actually. And then we will go on to more discussion about CD17's rezoning project, what it is, where it currently stands, how you can get involved, and then we'll review some next steps in terms of civic engagement, other zoning proposals that are floating around that you may have heard about, and then we'll talk about end on how you can actually go on community walking tours in the next month. So, introduce yourself.
Yes. So again, my name is Michael Higgins. Historically, I've been a community organizer here in Brooklyn. I've done mostly tenant organizing, mostly in Gowanus and around downtown Brooklyn. But in that time, I've learned that there's a power to just walking with people and talking with people about what they see and what they see change. And even though I think we know our communities really well and we see the change, we don't always know why. And so I'm working with BK Level Up in this process to talk about zoning, talk about land use, talk about what's happening here in East Flatbush. But really, all I'm doing is contextualizing what all you see every day, right? We all see change and we see it feels happening very, very quickly. And all I want to do is to maybe make clear where the levers that are happening that's producing the results that we see in our neighborhood. And so I'll be doing a few walking tours this summer. I hope you all can join me and talk more about community change and what you all want to see for your community. And I hope to be a resource to you all. So thank you again for Allison and Rachel for allowing me this experience to just talk with community. And I'm happy to be a resource.
And I'm going to actually pass to allow the chair of the zoning committee for CD17 to introduce herself and the committee work. This is Juliet James.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I would like to begin first by thanking the pastor and the congregation for opening up this facility for us to use. Thank you very, very much. I want to thank Brooklyn Level Up for rising to the occasion when Community Board 17 asked them to undertake this town hall meeting. Thank you to you and your team. And then, most of all, I want to thank every single one of you who's come on this evening. Our community is under siege, okay? And until we recognize that and we mobilize and come together to deal with it, we're gonna wake up one day and find out we no longer feel part of this. This is part of the process that's necessary. It's called community engagement. Because in order to effect change, we need to show the Community Board 17, of which I'm the chair of the rezoning committee, actually zoning for housing, preservation, and equity. We need to show that we have engaged the community. And we need your help. Because without your help to reach out to your neighbors and your friends and bring them on board, we are not going to be successful. So as we talk later on in the evening about the community board's rezoning project, we'll get a better idea of what I'm talking about. But we have to mobilize. We have to get involved. Otherwise, we'll wake up one day and find our children or grandchildren or neighbors and friends no longer feel welcome in our community. Thank you.
So just, again, Alice, back to the top. This will tell you a little bit more about Brooklyn Level Up and our work. Brooklyn Level Up is a community development corporation. We focus our work in East Flatbush, Flatlands, which we affectionately call the Flats. And what it is that our work falls into 3 initiatives. First, our entrepreneurship collective, which is currently running a small business incubator that's wellness accountability based, working with the Rugby branch of the library. In addition to that, we are building a community land trust, which we also hope that you all might consider joining the steering committee and doing some work to really eventually build and preserve affordable housing, commercial and community space in our area, as well as getting involved with our latest initiative, which is Brooklyn Level Up Cultivate, which is an environmental justice arm of our work. We've seen a lot from the engagement we've done with different academic communities around issues such as soil, lead content, which East Flatbush is 3rd highest in lead in soil, but also one of the most ways of Black homeownership, where we grow food with pride and it may not actually be safe. We are facing extreme heat issues, which I know you all are getting a close-up experience with, as well as air quality. So these are some of the things that we're working on, and we hope you will join. So I will do the land acknowledgement. It's always important that we always acknowledging where we're starting from, and that means that we are gathered today on Lenni Lenape territory. These are the original stewards of what is now New York City, and they were the first to be violently displaced from this land. So we have to always acknowledge that that's the land that we're actually doing this work on and living. But now we have to acknowledge that our work is to ensure that this land, which is now one of the few remaining bastions of Black homeownership, a high percentage of Caribbean people live here as well. We have to make sure that we're doing what we can to make sure that this land stays in the hands of the people who live here. We have seen a decrease in our population, 10% decrease, and that's a lot of it because of barriers to affordable housing, people just not having access to the resources and spaces that they need. And we have to band together to do work to change that outcome.
So thank you again, everyone, for joining us this evening, and hopefully most of you all have completed our pre-town hall survey. Again, we understand that people are walking into the room wanting to learn more, wanting to engage in this conversation, and also recognize that people may not know a ton about zoning. That's why we're all here. And so again, what is zoning and what does it look like here in East Flatbush? So here in the city of New York, zoning is this law, or it's law, that codifies what you can put where, right? What can you put and where? And so zoning is generally divided into 3 main categories: residential, which is where people live; commercial, which is where people work and do business; and then industrial, where people also do work, but often are more polluting uses that you generally want to separate from people. And so in order to have this conversation around zoning, BK Level Up actually created a video that we're going to play now, just talking more about zoning, in particular, what does the zoning look like here? And again, we know what we see, but really giving you more language about how the city talks about it. And when the city says all these different terms, what do they mean? Right? And so this video is going to be 5 minutes, and can I just discuss maybe? Okay, all right.
Oh, one thing, like I said, you will hear voices from people in this room because it's important that we have community members be the voice of what is being and what we don't.
See it all around the neighborhood. East Flatbush is in the midst of rapid change. It's up to us, people that live and work here, to take charge of its future. From Nostrand Avenue to Utica Avenue, socioeconomic urban development pressures are pushing out Black residents, changing the map of what's been the second most concentrated area of Black home ownership in New York City.
How do I get it to, hold on.
high barriers to affordable housing and commercial space, and the real lack of public transit, infrastructure, and open space are being felt by everyone.
The video itself is a little fuzzy, but hopefully folks can hear.
Knowledge is.
Should I switch to my phone?
Yeah.
I'll switch to my phone.
Conversations about what the future of our neighborhoods looks
Okay.
So how did we get?
It's in Canva. So let it do. Should I restart?
Yeah.
All right,
So you could play from your email and make.
that'll be better.
Yeah, I think I'm-
All right, well then, you can do that. Fine. So you want me to go to the email link? Okay. I have to come out of this. It's not doing anything. Unless should I just change it from my phone? Because it's not doing anything. Okay.
Open your email. Scott's link, that should be.
All right. All right. That's the second one.
No.
Yeah. Yes, download. So why is it still like dragging? Okay. All right, let's try it this way.
You can see all around the neighborhood.
Still doing it.
East Flatbush is in the midst of corporate change. It's up to us, the people that live and work here, take charge of its future. From Ocean Avenue to Utica Avenue, socioeconomic and urban development pressures are pushing out Black
Still
residents,
doing it.
changing the map in the second most concentrated area of Black home ownership in New York City.
Hold
The
on one
neighborhood
second.
population is growing fast.
Sorry about this.
Gentrification,
It worked
high
earlier.
barriers to affordable housing and commercial space, and the real lack of public transit, infrastructure,
I
and
can't
open
use
space
it.
are
Pause it.
being felt.
You do this.
I got you.
Suggesting if you could just download the video.
Play it on your phone. Listen to the audio. Okay. But then it won't be loud enough. Because it's running through that. I can do that.
Don't need dictates, certain kind.
That's the second video.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the
Try
second one.
just downloading it in the corner.
All right, so go to that first link. Go up.
This one?
Keep going up. You have to scroll from there. Yeah, that's the first one. Up there.
It's hard to navigate up here. It's true.
And I was thinking maybe I should just put it on my hotspot.
Yeah, it's probably the internet connection that doesn't allow it to load.
Are you
All right.
connected to this thing with the hotspot or with
No, I was using their Wi-Fi.
Let me maybe just try directly. It's hard video.
Should I shift it to mine?
Sorry, I think I hit something on the button.
Yeah, no.
Watch
This was
movies.
first. No, actually.
If I want to do something,
No, the video is
Videos are-
they can, but in the back. But the problem is for some reason now the Wi-Fi is like slowing and you don't have it downloaded.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You should
Well,
just
it
download
is. It was, actually, yes. When I think about
Do
it.
you have the email in here?
Hold on. Was Howard and people that look. All right, let me see. Hold on, it's here.
It seems like.
Oh, I don't like it.
Yeah. All right, let's, you're losing time,
I
shall
know.
we? Yeah,
So
um,
why don't you go
I'll just continue.
forward and I'll
okay, no problem.
fix that.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Hey, come here a second. We ran the fingerprints we found in the motel. And
Yeah,
Yes.
you have to go. Sorry about this, everyone.
To the owner's file.
The video is downloaded
Killer
on
Green
here.
Alley. Did that
Hold on.
monster work Lager? Probably the trigger man in the murder of Leah Wexler Sutton 5 years ago. He's testimony
You
convicted.
download this. It was already downloaded. Here's the link. Okay, so now what do we do?
That one right there.
You could place them there,
Did they?
but the problem is now that she's gotten off that, it's not connected.
This, I don't know who connected.
It was connected. But hold on.
Downloading.
You know what? Now might be a good time for people to eat while we fix this. So while we turn the lights on, take a little break and then get back to business. And in addition, you can also come and tell stories about each Flatbush and record them at the same time. This is something that we do just to basically have a community memory, to get food and the stories as well.
And that's at the back table over there.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, it has to, yes. But usually you have to go like down to,
I was able to download it to my laptop if you.
yes.
No, it's already downloaded.
Okay.
If
Yeah, I
you
think it's the
can-
problem is you can't play with the Wi-Fi.
Where's the? Wait. Devices. Oh, sorry. I'll give you this.
Trying to be bad at this, but I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask if there's anything I can do to help.
Well, she said she's good at this stuff.
Okay, good.
I'm like, 'cause I hate
It
this.
took me like an hour.
Yes. And the thing is, the setting was quick. The sucks is the Wi-Fi here is making it so slow. And I can't keep catching up.
But I put one out. Okay. Here for moral support, but it's
Yeah, that's like, I can't stay on the second part.
I recently like the fact like oh, and Jonathan. We were going to grab drinks and then I saw it was happening. I was like, let's do that. And then we got exciting because I was just recently looking into trying to look at our broadband. I'm like, good, if there's already a plan in place, and now I can just get on that. One less thing I have to do. With my brain.
Exactly.
I can just- Yeah, so if you're doing handouts, if you're sorting short. Something
Connected really. Right up on the computer, and then it's basically accept.
So it's a ministry, so it needs to be discovered. I'm trying to get it to be Sorry, can you come on this side a second, so see the screen? No?
I might have to hit remove device.
I don't think that.
You did that?
Not that. I can't remember it.
Okay.
See,
Smart monitor.
I'm sorry, I know, I just can't see.
Maybe is it because it's on high? That part was- Can you give them the deck now?
You got it?
Yes, I can.
No, I don't.
Like Canva account.
Oh, you know what? Maybe did I not give you the public view link?
Maybe it was download. This is like, maybe it doesn't have the issue anymore. It's just-
Yes, we just gotta boot up back to the
Okay,
projector link.
so we have to start here and then go to, did we connect the sound already? Sounds. So allow. That's the sound.
reporting more sensitive. The last 10 years. So it doesn't matter.
So we're not gonna be able to show the virtual one, but if they give us their phone number, we're sharing, okay, I'm happy. Does it sound?
I see that.
Might say.
And I did my show. As.
I'm saying a lot of ways. That's just how I think it's going to.
Everything is on, like everything, so whenever you guys.
Right.
Scroll back. It's, well, Montserrat has it, but it's just,
know what Montserrat has anymore.
it's just, I don't know about the sound.
Okay. Is there a sound button on this?
Yeah, but why is it still doing that over there?
I think I see a no. Oh, good.
Maybe it's
Clear. The problem is it's not like this table or anything.
Yeah, the mouse is not.
All right.
Meeting, start working on the background or something.
All right. Well, then that would have to go right back in the presentation day.
Not close on the nose.
No.
Yeah, you're overlooking your grammar.
Okay.
And you can.
process it.
It's fine everywhere else. All right. Okay.
No, I'm telling you, it's in my class over time for meetings, or I got to see that in 2 years. And I have
That might be right after.
so slow. Meeting,
Okay. I had no problem at home. I didn't, the only problem too.
Yeah, but don't worry, you're that he's now trying to communicate.
Okay. All right. Yes, if I can just, and then if I can, I think I hope I've closed enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Where's this screen set up with the display function? We use presentation.
Oh my God, I give up on this.
You see how companies like this might go behind us.
It's like a video show. Or
It's
Forward.
or you want to keep the
We're trying.
I gotta go back and look at that stuff again. Oh.
Our fine zones are kind of transition areas between the lower and higher density neighborhood.
Well, actually, then if you can hear from my thing, then someone else's screen. Right, right.
Password, I gotta use it.
I think we have the password, it's just now it has to reconnect. Yeah, everything is in Canva, but what we can do is just like not do the videos and just do the screen and then we can send that to everybody. So let's just do that.
You know, I can tell what's on the screen.
Yeah. Here, okay. So. It's connected. Maybe we should cancel and do it again. Thank you for your patience, everyone, with this.
Can we skip this?
We are.
Trying. We're trying.
We are.
Summary.
Yeah.
I know. Actually, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna skip that part, and then everyone, if you have your phone numbers or emails, you will get the presentation deck anyway, you can watch it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Great.
So, this is our problem now, is getting back on there.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay. I think there's. That's a lot of. Samsung, why is one not connecting in Netherlands? Now what do I do?
What do you do? Like, what, I guess, can you just talk to people?
We can, you want to talk to people? Yes. This is not gonna work. Okay. Let's just, let me just do that.
Okay. Good effort. We tried.
You tried. Okay.
Pull up the camp on.
All right. So now we have a problem with this. So what we're gonna do is just talk through the deck, and then you can have it all, okay? And then we can do some activities and move on, right? I apologize for that. Not your fault, dear. Thank you.
So, so otherwise, hopefully people are fed, have a little bit of heat. So hopefully at least you're not angry while we've been trying to figure the situation out, but what we were trying to get to,
You speak a little louder.
what we were trying to get to is we were trying to show you all a video that actually talks about zoning locally here in East Lyme. So can't show you the video, you can get the video hopefully through email, if you've shared your email on our sign sheet, but let me give you just a summary about the conversation around rezoning here in East Lyme, right? And so in the last 20 years, we've seen a lot of folks move back to Brooklyn. Brooklyn used to be a place where people used to leave. And now over the last 20 years, it's a place where people are coming back to, right? And so in the last 20 years, particularly, if folks remember Mike Bloomberg, who was a three-term mayor, who was mayor of New York City back in the 2000s. He was mayor from about 2002 to 2013. Under his administration, a lot of communities who saw people moving back to Brooklyn said, well, I don't want people in my neighborhood. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna change the zoning to discourage developers from building housing for those people who are moving back to Brooklyn. So people, well, let's say not moving back, people are moving to Brooklyn, not the same people. Not the same people. Not the same people. So, under the Bloomberg administration, we saw what we call rezoning by different communities around the city saying that we don't want that development. We know a lot of people are coming to live in the city. A lot of them make a decent amount of money. There's a market for developers who want to build housing for these people. but we don't necessarily want that housing in our neighborhoods. And so what we saw under that administration was a lot of, what we call down zones. So where you had a certain type of zoning before, right, that allowed you to build to certain heights, so whether, so often, and in most parts of the city, you could generally, used to be able to build up to about 6 stories, right? And a lot of communities tap that down. But okay, we don't want our communities to change, so we're gonna tap it down to 3 stories, right? And if we tap it down, we're making it less interesting for developers, or less easy for developers to buy land and redevelop, right? And so that's what we saw across the city. Under the Bloom administration, we saw over 100 of those different proposals, right? So fast forward, right? So East Flatbush was one of those communities that also saw the writing on the wall. And they said, okay, well, we also want to, if other communities are trying to preserve their communities, why can't we? Right? And so unfortunately, East Flatbush has been seeking that type of redevelopment, that type of rezoning for the last 15 years.
17.
Right. And so East Flatbush is still trying to see that type of proposal. And so the community board has been in touch with different community design groups to create a vision of what we want to rezone to. We recognize if folks are walking along New York Avenue, just literally just walk outside this church and you walk north-south along North Avenue, you see the change. Right. Nostrand, Rogers, right? You see it. And so the community said, you know what? We need to be proactive. We need to come up with our own proposal. And we just need to say, look, the community wants to make sure that we have a legacy of homeownership into the future. We want to save our small black owned businesses. And we know that unfortunately, if folks develop, whether it's Nostrand, whether it's Utica, whether it's Church, there's no guarantee that if these buildings open, that the commercial spaces that come with them will actually be open to our small business owners. And so again, that is the idea behind this proposal, the proposal that's been that's come out of the community board. So again, at this point, that proposal is now online. I think we will, hopefully folks who received the email from BK Level Up about this tunnel, you should also receive the attachment of that proposal. There you go. Right? And so right now, the community board is seeking your input to make sure that this proposal aligns with your values. Is this what you all want to see?
Will they work on it when we say something? They let it go like that.
Well, again, it's a proposal. It's not set in stone. And we want to.
Could you repeat the question?
Sorry, can you?
I said, when we do, you send a proposal.
Yes.
But if we propose something to the community board, will they act on it? Or they just leave it like that?
The community board is actively seeking your input through surveys and conversations like we're having, that they actually cause to happen.
You can do this on surveys?
The survey is, we have copies of the survey.
It's also online.
It's online. However, we know that that's a hard for most people, but the community board has actually had events where they've had people out to collect service, and we will be doing.
Private and other meetings. They don't even know when they're having their meeting. Thank you. Right? And I'm like 2 blocks away. There's no sign of that door. It looks as if the building is closed. And I'm like, okay, when is they having a meeting? Then somebody will say, it happened a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Come on, we right there. Not to interrupt what she said, what going on. Tonight, I just said something that we don't have community board here. And 2 persons said to me, sure, this person is district manager, assistant district manager. If you're having something like this, let the community know what is going on. I don't come here to find this out. Whether it's on email, send a flyer.
So I have a question for you. What is a way that you would like to receive that information?
In the mailbox.
Put it in the mail.
They put it in the mailbox, you could
Well-
put it a drop.
So I'll be transparent. I'm on the community board. I've been on the community board for 2 years, I'm chair of the Social Services Committee, and we have mailing lists, we send emails. The community board has a budget that's set by the city. I think direct mail that goes into everybody's inbox would be very expensive, frankly. That's not money that we receive from the city. And I want to be clear, I live in East Flatbush and I'm a volunteer. I'm not paid to be on the community board, but I just, email is typically the main way we communicate with people. We're trying to build our social media platform so that people have other ways, but I'm genuinely asking what's a good way to reach you? Direct mail is expensive.
Miss, excuse me, you and you. Open them.
I'm just,
I just want to let her, just go over what, I want to be sure that we get back on track because the way we're doing communication, that's definitely a conversation to be had. But I want to be sure that we get some grounding in zoning
Yes.
tonight.
Just very briefly on that.
If somebody new wants me to vote for them, they come and ring my doorbell and get my signature.
Exactly. This is not the same thing.
Get somebody.
Can I, one second, please, one.
Who is there in East Flatbush, who's on my area, is older people. Children has grown. That too. All right, so, the person email, do they have a? Silent walk around.
Can I?
Make copies, and I walk around and put in the mailbox. Somebody needs to do it, because Committee Board 17 is right there, and I've never seen anything in my mailbox.
You are absolutely right about this, okay? And it's an issue that is a major concern for me. And come July 1st, I am going to be pressing the board to use what funds are available to hire a community associate to go out into the community. So you're absolutely right. So how we can get your help? If we can find one person, the block association president, where we can get the flyers out to, that would be helpful. So that's what we have. There was a time we had very active block associations, and that has died. Because as was pointed out by the chairperson of the social committee, we don't have in the budget to do monthly, even one mailing. We don't, the city hasn't given us that money. So I'm asking everybody here right now, okay, I will give up my telephone number. Whoever is your block association president, or you can start it. If we can get one contact on each block, we can change something, but we need your help to do that. My number is 718. I will personally drop off the flyers to the person. 346. 3600.
I'm sorry.
What the beginning?
Who am I? Okay, my name is, okay, sorry. My name is J.L. James. I'm the chair of the rezoning committee. And the reason we're having this meeting at Brooklyn level up was tasked and graciously agreed to do it, is to get the community involved. The only reason we are doing this tonight, we want to hear from you. We also don't want to get sidetracked on one, because we have a proposal. It's just a proposal. We want to hear what you think about it. This is the sole purpose for being here tonight. Okay, so let's not, the community board has a lot of work to do. Okay, I'm very vocal sometimes for what's going on, but tonight, if we can do two things, get an understanding of what is being proposed and say what you think about it. There is a survey online, but we try to get a survey. Right now, we have gotten some people to go out into the community. And Brooklyn Level is going to be there knocking on doors to get your input. Another fast way of doing this, if you find one person on your block who wants to be the key representative, quote unquote, for fancy word, for the community board contact, let me know. Call my number, let me know. We will be in contact with the person. My name is JL, initials JL James, or Julia James, 718-346-3600.
And this is a cell phone number. Now making sure it's not a landline.
You can text me. Better yet, that's a number. You can text that number. Tell me your name and call, text, whatever. Yes.
718-347.
So did everyone get that number?
No, it's not to get. So for those who are comfortable with emails, we're gonna get everybody's email tonight as well. Brooklyn has it. For those who prefer not to use email, right? You can text, you can call. I will take the call, I will respond.
And you the leader.
I will get it for you.
718. What you want this community to look like.
No, because I won't text, I will email you.
Okay. Yeah, BK, I will give it to you.
And I know when people get bombarded, they miss things. So I think if I had emailed it and write it down, which kids can't, that's okay.
Okay, I will say.
How about
that.
slowly? Everybody who's left contact information, either by cell phone or email, will be getting you'll be getting the deck and you'll get information from us. So you will be able to have an ability to have a response.
For those who want to take it right, sorry. BK dot CB17 dot rezoning dot committee at Gmail. Again, BK abbreviation for Brooklyn, BK CB17 dot rezoning dot committee at Gmail. You have my phone and my text, and you have my email. Please contact us. Plus, through Brooklyn level. Yes.
Block do not have an association, what?
This is even just. Even if you don't form, even if you don't form a formal block association, but you have one person that we can reach out to and get the flyers, get the information, and then find a way to share it. That is how you can help the process.
I have a question. Your safe district 17. Do you have a meeting once a month or something like that?
Yes, we do. Downstate.
Downstate.
Is it
Yes.
Third one time.
Has it stopped for the summer or is still going?
It's stopped for the summer.
Starting again in September.
Correct, yes,
Third Wednesday, 395 Lennox.
correct, yes.
Thank you.
Can I make a suggestion? Since y'all say, y'all can go door to door with flyers, and we're not getting no information with District 17, why can't you just put flyers up for the businesses in there?
Again, it's a manpower to do that, and again, that's my battle, okay?
Okay,
So
because
you know how you know what you can do? If everybody in this room calls the community board 17 and leaves a message or speaks to the chair and tell them we need a community associate, then I wouldn't be fighting this battle by myself. Call the community, again, listen to me very carefully. I am fighting this battle and it's all just me and a couple of the members, okay? We have in our budget monies to hire someone who can walk the streets, deliver the flyers and talk to people. And that money is being kept in the budget and it's not being used. And I said, come July 1st, I don't care what I have to do, what media I'm going to speak to, but you can help me here. Call the community board and ask to speak to the chairperson and demand they fill that position. So for seniors who don't use their text, who don't use emails, there's someone who can knock on the door of each and deliver the information. That is how you can help the process. Yes.
I feel like you have any meeting to Wednesday, do you have a flyer for that?
It's okay, so it's very well established. It's every Thursday.
We have a whole lot of new people on our block.
Okay.
Half of this.
So again, if we get, okay, we're delivering this one. So what I'm saying, again, call the community board, make that telephone call and tell them we need a community rep to walk the streets of our community to share information. We cannot just be relying on email and electronic communication.
So when we call your number, when there's a meeting, can you send us a flyer via?
They're actually, the community board puts out a calendar every September.
Let's move.
It's a calendar that adds all dates, All right. So send us a flyer. Flyer. I just want to bring us back to zoning.
To your agenda, to your agenda.
Yes, to the agenda. Okay.
Planning for a vision for the community. The community board created this specific subcommittee, which is a zoning committee, to create a plan, to get input from people, and basically spit out a proposal for folks to weigh in. Okay, so this proposal had three main goals: slow development in the community, save Black business owners, right? And then, and maintain Black homeownership, right? Those are the three main goals of this proposal. And so based on that, this proposal, which is, again, we will reshare out, right? This proposal was created that changes the zoning from what it is today to hopefully discourage development in certain places and push it to other places. So again, we see the development that's happened on New York, right? And we're saying, okay, if it's happening on New York, we'll push it to New York and we'll save the side streets, right? If it's happening on Utica, okay, we'll push to Utica and we'll save the heart of the district. That makes sense, right? And so in that case, we are pushing development towards New York or Utica. So we're upzoning, right? We're saying, okay, people want to build, they can build there. And then in the middle, we're downzoning. Okay, you can't build here. We're going to tap it down. Right? And so again, this is still a draft, right? And we hope you all actually, once you receive it, we hope you all take a look at it, you read it, you reach out to Chair James, you reach out to Pico Level Up, what you think about it. We hope you fill out the survey before you leave. And again, we're still looking for, I guess the community board is still looking for input. The goal of the survey is to collect, what, approximately 500? That's the number? 300? Okay. Okay, as many as you want, but we want to at least get to that 300, right? And so again, once we get that input, those 300 responses, the goal is to go to DCP, Department of City Planning, that oversees different proposals around the city, and say, look, we have this proposal and we have this block of community folks who have weighed in, who have been informed, who learned about zoning, shared our feedback, and are behind this proposal. We want to make sure that this gets passed, right? And so again, there's been a lot of different conversations around zoning. It's not just the community board. Folks might be somewhat familiar with what's called the City of Yes. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But again, we are doing our own local planning, regardless of what the city has to say, because we have to have a vision for our community. It can't come down from the city. They don't know our streets like we do. And so that's what's happening. So again, we encourage you to fill out the survey before you leave, or we have a QR code so you can pull it out on your phone. Please complete it. And so, as I mentioned, there are other things that are, other proposals that are kind of on top of this local plan. Yes.
Okay, you guys are putting together this proposal. Does it need the blessing of Community Board 17?
It needs the blessing of the residents of this community.
Okay, and with whether 17 and the chair are with it or not, this will be forwarded on after we've all conferred. It'll be forwarded on to the folks at City Planning. Is that correct?
Yeah, the board voted to accept it for distribution to the community to express their opinion on it.
Okay.
So it's not a final document, cannot ever be until there's community input. If a community board does not go out to the community like this, DCP would even look at us. I know what they're banking on. I can say this, I don't care. They are banking on of that, expecting that we'll be so laissez-faire, that we wouldn't be involved. And then they can use that as a basis to say to not to reject the plan. Because they think we're so lazy, so indifferent, so whatever. But we need to show them that this is our community and we're gonna speak it out.
Just don't take the knowledge.
So this will help the situation where they're taking down all those single ones.
That is the plan. That's what I,
Texture
yes,
zoning does.
that is, has anybody been in Canarsie, to Canarsie recently? Have you seen any 3, 4, 5 stars?
No.
That is the difference between zoning. I said one more
I
time,
know that because they told me.
take a look at Canarsie right behind us,
And they-
okay? Even on, I was so stunned, they built a new building on the Remsen and Flatlands. When they destroyed the building there with commercial, I thought, oh, they're gonna go up, no, they couldn't. That is zoning, but what happens in our district, developers as a matter of right and buy 2, 3, 4 homes, destroy them and build up. Let me just say one other key thing here, I'm sorry, okay. This is not about homeowners only. This impacts every resident here, because if you're a tenant in this area and you have high-rise buildings going up, and statistics shows that the new buildings being built in our community are the 3rd most expensive buildings in New York City. Can I just repeat what I just said?
Yes.
Okay? The buildings that you're seeing going up there, the rents there represent the 3rd highest rents in New York City. Okay, so that is being catered to people at the high end. A couple of them may have affordable units, whatever it is, because their tax benefits of doing it. But the prime building is not designed for the average resident of Community Board 17. So what is this proposal about? Everybody, we hear the city talking about there's a housing crisis, To fight them that there isn't one, it's not gonna get us anywhere. So the plan, the proposal is, you have already destroyed New York Avenue. You have already destroyed Brooklyn Avenue. You want to take over Utica Avenue and Church. We'll give you those streets. You want to go 100 stories? Go 100 stories up. But you are not going to go back. But what? Yeah. So, but the focus, right, was I'm saying to protect the homes that we have. And again, homes represent affordable housing for tenants. Part of this proposal, we show that we could create almost 5,000 units if homeowners with basements and cellars were allowed to convert it. That is more than the buildings can produce, okay? But this whole concept is about getting developers wealthy, right, at the expense. So all the other Community Board 17 is the only community board district that was not allowed to rezone. May I repeat this one more time? Every other community was allowed to protect their housing stock, but they left Community Board 17 vulnerable for a specific purpose. So that's what's happening here could take place. You can't go into Bay Ridge and Sheepshead Bay and just destroy homes randomly, okay? But they look at this community, it's a community of color, right? Because homes will also represent health. Well, okay, many of us, including me, wouldn't have a dime if it wasn't for the house, right? Because that's the way we save money, right? We stock market, put in the stock market, because we say our savings accounts, we have it one day, it's gone. But home ownership represents wealth. And this is a way of taking away Black wealth and creating a situation where the future generations, so we're not able to transfer this intergenerational wealth is being taken from us. We need to speak up, let our representatives know that this is not going to continue, but we need to mobilize ourselves. I'm sorry.
No, thank you. I won't belabor the point. I don't think it's much I can add to that, right? So I will say that again, the community board is creating their own vision, right? So we have the community board at the lowest level, if it makes sense. So moving up, so you go from community board to the borough of Brooklyn, borough president. Borough president just came out with a proposal they call the comprehensive plan for Brooklyn, came out last year, and looks at a proposal for zoning across Brooklyn that deals with housing production, and also deals with public health. We have Brooklyn Borough President, they have their own plan. Right? You go another level up. City, the mayor. The mayor has come out with a plan called the City of Yes. It is a multi-pronged proposal, has three main kind of buckets. One is around carbon emissions called carbon neutrality. There's one around economic opportunity, so basically making zoning allow for different types of businesses that are allowed today. And then there's one called housing opportunity, which is to encourage housing development across the city. So again, this has been a conversation now in the city for the last year, 18 months or so. The first two, carbon neutrality and economic opportunity, they've already passed. They're in past city council, they've already been signed.
With some adjustments to them.
Some amendments. The housing opportunity is the one that has been getting most of the input. Again, it's been going around to different community boards. I believe every community board at this point has voted on or is in the process of submitting their votes.
CB 17 voted no to that proposal.
Okay.
No for the City of Yes housing opportunity.
Right. And so it's gone.
Well, let me, just to give you like just some color on that.
Is it for like commercial kind of buildings or high?
It's actually about residential.
Or for.
What it has many actually prongs, but the goal of it is to allow spread. Well, it's purported to spread housing in more areas than normally have been participating in creating additional housing. It recognizes you have a code, allows for what are called accessory dwelling units, which would mean that in your backyard,
you have a garage,
or your garage or your basement, or if you had an attic, we don't have attics really in East Flatbush. But over your garage and all that, you could actually create additional up to 800 square foot apartments. So you'd have additional multiple use housing. However, it doesn't, there's no clarity yet on what the tax implications could be of that, or property taxes or investment property taxes. So that remains to be seen, but it's not fully voted on yet, just the community boards have put in their input. Some have said yes to it, some have said no. In addition, it would allow developers not to have to provide parking in their new developments, so that they can essentially add more space, more units. It also has a component called UAP, which allows for every development that would come on board now to add an additional 20%
in certain
zones.
So uniform affordability preference.
And it's meant to allow for different mixtures of affordability. So that's what's supposed to encourage that. Among other things.
Yeah, so altogether, the goal of Eric Adams' goal for this proposal is to basically encourage 500,000 new units in the next 10 years.
However, some of the challenges of it, that it really would eliminate the need for variances, which is where a developer would have to come before bodies like the community board to get approvals for some of these different projects, as well as city council members, because it kind of like, it would sort of be, again, like the as of right.
Yes.
Louder.
Sections that have been held, exceeded as an addition, raised people of color from the community. It's going to take our elected officials or what the city council doesn't really realize that they will no longer have vote for various projects that are going to be buildings that are going to be made here. They are voting for something that erases their responsibility altogether. And we as a people will not have any people lose our homes based on what I can see with this city. It's not going to, it should be a clear no, because there's nothing in it for the people of color. They're going to take our homes and make a concrete Don't go apart.
So you think District 17 voted no, right?
Yeah, we did.
But I want you to be clear, CD17 voted no.
Okay.
However, the community board is an advisory body. That means that its vote does not have, all it is advice. It's not a standing, vote that's going to negate anything. So what you have to do is becoming knowledgeable about it, but also speaking to those votes that do count, which are city council members, your mayor's office, DCP, the commission of planning, the planning commission, those are the bodies whose votes actually count. However, we move, especially our city council members, they are waiting and need our input as to whether or not we support that or not.
So that's-
300.
They are developers and they finance their campaigns, so therefore, they don't really care what we think.
They too care what we think if we show up at polls, and that's on us.
May I encourage you there tonight, pick up the phone before July 15th, I think it said, and call your city council member.
Could you get them?
There is an office, there is an
Public
office,
hearings that are going on.
there is an office where they have to take it and say, I think this is not gonna be, whatever your opinion is, share that opinion. Let me just say how discriminatory the city of this is. There are many transit-oriented development is the buzzword.
Yes.
Transit-oriented development. Oh, we need to develop along the transit line because it's a waste, right? So the city of Yes proposes in all those communities where all those train stations and things have one-story buildings, would you be nice enough to go up to 3? Right? Nostrand Avenue, which is a hub for all Black businesses, okay? Where if a Black entrepreneur wants to to have a place of business, Nostrand Avenue. Oh, no, we need to tear down the buildings on Nostrand Avenue and go 30 stories high, okay? So every other community is allowed, will be encouraged to have a town hall center where you don't need to go higher than 3 stories. But they're incensed because this plan says, no, we are not going to encourage any further development of Nostrand Avenue. We need your support. We need to, not just the houses, we need to say, our young people, the next generation, we ourselves, we need place in this community to do businesses, and Nostrand Avenue is our hub. There is no need to destroy the businesses there, displace them, right? Because the buildings are already 3-4 story high, right? They are. But I'm just showing you how the disparity, where other communities is like, just go 3 stories. And we are 3 stories, but no, we need to go 20 stories.
The challenge is that this is our community, and for too long, we haven't been part of these discussions. But that's why being out here tonight, like just starting to build that groundswell of information, and more importantly, putting it into action of reaching out to our electeds, making relationships with the private sector and the developers, because the reality is they're building things without conversation about what it is we want and need. And that's why we don't have the community that we could have, that could have exactly all of the assets that we just heard. Because we're not in those conversations, but it's up to us to start that.
What percentage of community boards voted yes so far for the city of Yes?
See, actually, all of it is not fully in yet, but it's almost like, I think so, yeah.
Is that what the 300 signatures is for?
What 300 signatures?
300.
Oh, the survey, the survey is about, and getting the 300 impressions or survey responses is about C17.
Local proposal.
So we wanted you to know that there are not just one zoning proposal.
They're stacked.
Think about, there are plenty. And the reality is, be it CB17s or the borough presidents or the mayors, or we'll talk about the governor's plan, that will, the IBC plan, they're not talking with each other. So all of these plans could actually be contradicting each other in terms of what their recommendations are. And that's the challenge.
Is there anything in the proposal that tackles opportunity zones and taxes? Because those are the two things I think that's the biggest dangers. Opportunity zones was happening before COVID, and I used to look at a map. It's actually a map that's happening throughout the whole entire United States of America.
Yes.
That people with wealth can open a trust and invest in impoverished neighborhoods. So you may not realize it, but these neighborhoods or in certain parts of the neighborhood,
Yes.
and then something called an opportunity. So that's why they're really in the neighborhood. And they get a tax abatement for, I think it's like 5 or up to like maybe 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that anything in the proposal tackle that, and also, I'm on New York Avenue. So I understand that, yes, forget about New York Avenue because they're building up.
Well, I don't agree with that part.
I know, but and there any tax abatements or anything that in the proposal for the people that are trying to fight and stay, because along with the other properties that's being going up, you know, the taxes are raising as well. Right, so even if we do want to stay, because we don't plan on selling, so if we do want to stay, taxes are going up, and then if taxes go up and you have, and you're renting, your rent has to go up as well.
Correct.
So it's a two-pronged kind of thing, it's not, you know, so I'm just talking about, is there anything in the proposal along those lines?
Not about the taxes per se, and the reality is the city itself is having like discussions about how to deal with property taxes. And that includes whether or not and how they would restart the tax lien sale. Again, what version they could do, or could they bring back third-party transfer, which allowed nonprofits and other adults to purchase properties and then put them and displace people that way. We have a board member who knows a lot about that discussion, who's now hiding in her chair, but has been part of discussions about how to stop the tax lien sale from rearing its head again, which was a Giuliani era plan that just basically displaced a lot of Black and brown homeowners who could use their home for a water lien for like $14,000 and you would wipe out all of that generational wealth. So the tax part is honestly, that part has not been fully flushed out in any of these plans.
So that's a good question, and you're correct. The plan at this point doesn't address it because we had to focus on housing. But once we've developed that and gotten community buy-in, it certainly will incorporate the other asks we're asking for. Because we are essentially telling the city, we are giving more housing to the city than any other community. That's one of the, because that's, we really had to give up a lot. I'm saying because we gave up the major streets. So if we are giving 3,000 more units to the community in the next 10 years, and other communities are just doing 200, then you need to give us more. So at that point, once you've gotten the buy-in from everybody in the community, that this is how we want to move forward, we're going to make the ask for the things that you just mentioned.
So how much major streets did you live on?
What?
How much major streets did you live on?
Okay, I wouldn't frame it as giving up. I did.
You did, you did, be real, okay?
He's more contextualizing and then looking at what sections of, let's say that these larger corridor streets that were already basically because of the existing levels of that development.
What did you give up?
I would say it's more like a scalpel around it. We're like contextualizing around and not trying to add more harm to people who already face homelessness. So it's not what I'm
trying to find out how
Yeah.
much.
So we do have the proposal, JL had brought in a consultant firm that did a deep research into what would make the less impact on sort of way of life in East Flatbush. And so again, like a street like New York that already had, you know, maybe a 3-story building that is 2 apartments on top and then a storefront on the bottom. Those kind of buildings, we're saying that, you know, if those buildings are more into taller buildings, we don't feel as bad about it. And then there are certain streets like Martin Avenue that have like old homes and, you know, maybe 3-4 families and they're brick facades and we're like, those streets you can't touch. I also want to say when you say give up, the context can feel like someone still has to be willing to sell.
That's
Yes.
the key thing. You don't have to sell.
And I understand, right, because sometimes these developers want to buy 2 buildings next to each other and rebuild, right? So it's not like because the street itself is completely changed, but it is simply saying there's some streets where you will never see a 6-story building, And there's some streets that you're more likely to see a six-story building. To answer your question, those tend to be the two-way streets, the bigger avenues, whereas one-way streets, we're trying to keep as simple as possible. And I look at Schenectady, and it's a two-way street, okay?
No. Wait. Let me just explain. Schenectady is not.
Well, that's what I realized.
Say more likely to get six-story type of once it does more four-story. So that data there, I don't, you know, I think that's. And then if you have like specific comments, you can at the time you can share.
Okay, so it's the part,
Schenectady is.
but is it a primary road
I
or
wanna-
a secondary road? Because I can tell you, and I could break it down with sanitation. Okay,
Say.
so,
Sorry, for full and complete disclosure, all
okay,
right? I'm going to read the list.
thank you.
And again, the survey says yes or no.
Okay,
We're not pushing anything down anybody's throat.
okay.
You have the right to say, if more people say we don't want New York Avenue, and there's no way we can go against that, okay? So I'm gonna go down the list in full and complete disclosure. New York Avenue,
Okay,
to allow them to upzone New York Avenue.
okay,
Bedford Avenue, upzone. Rogers Avenue, upzone. Church Avenue, upzone.
okay.
Parts of Utica, not all of Utica, because you also want to save the businesses, the small businesses from Church going down, right? The places where we get our cars fixed.
Okay.
We're not
Yes.
no, you're not, I'm telling you, you're not touching these at all.
Okay.
You're staying asses.
Okay.
And, no, there is this developer who bought all the buildings around East 98th Street. He bought the whole street. And he has a plan, I don't know, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, that's 2-3 years. He has a plan to go 12 stories high. We're not gonna fight him. That's on the East 98th Street on the very end of the building, of the block. So that you can upzone as well, and Rockaway Parkway. So these are the streets. We're telling the city, you can upzone, we will upzone them, and we'll compromise. We can upzone them to give you the 3,000 units, which is more than you're asking for. And in exchange for that, then we need to downzone the rest of the district to protect our tenants and our homeowners.
Okay, one, I have one question.
Oh, no, not touching
You were about to
that.
get.
I haven't gotten to that.
Oh, some portion of it. A certain portion they had the right to, which is at the lower end, but I don't work in 7, they had the right to.
Two-way streets. Be a little bit specific.
Sorry.
Also, you would see this more once you get to see the videos, but a lot of Schenectady is in what's called the R4. And that means it's really single family zoning. We haven't opened that up to, let's say, community, the developer, come just build whatever you want there, no.
No, it's just, because I live
I
in
know, but
Schenectady, and I wasn't
I just wanna
concerned
be
with
clear.
Schenectady, but it was too generalized.
Yeah, I just.
And I just wanted to make sure because yes, we're giving up, but we have to know what we're giving up. too,
Exactly.
Okay? And that's all of our answers, what we're giving up, and when we do give that up, how does it affect the rest of us? So that's
Yes.
that's why I need to ask. Because
Well,
when you-
I want you
because
to
I
ask.
know that when you give an inch, they take a yard, so that's
Yes.
what I'm trying to figure out.
Just really quickly, Ms. Cannon, Ms. Cannon. Yes.
A lot of people going to get this, which is seminar, I will not understand. 1, 2, 3, how, what do we?
That's why, well, you'll see in the deck, reach out to community board, reach out to Brooklyn Level Up. We're going to have this conversation more than once. We also have scheduled 3 walking tours that you'll be able to go around all with us, walk, see what it looks like. And that's why we had these videos made, because the videos show you not just, people will say, oh, go on DCP's website and you just look at this drawing and that's what it looks like, right? But we wanted to be sure it was in context of what does it look like in East Flatbush? So you'll see homes that you recognize. You'll see, and then there's a residential video and then there's a commercial and industrial video. So you'll see exactly what it means, what the rates are, and it has writing all throughout it. So you'll be able to understand it more as well.
What is the deadline?
15 July.
The deadline, well, July 15th is about City of Yes. We will be throughout this summer getting surveys done.
Okay, so what's the deadline for you?
For
We
us,
want by September to be able to go to DCP and say we've engaged the community. We've gotten 1,500 signatures, the
Specific
surveys,
date?
And that's a reflection of what the community wants from the size of September. But we need your help. We can't do it by ourselves. We all, the community board is all volunteers, right, except for the staff.
Making buildings taller and potentially denser.
It depends.
Are what?
It depends.
R7s.
When you'll see, there's a map in it that shows you like what it currently is and then what the proposal is. And you'll see, it'll say like R7 may become R6A. So that means the contextual version a little bit higher, but it's contextualized so that you're still not able to do what you see now where, have you noticed like, let's say if you're on Farragut Road and you'll see homes are this way and then all of a sudden there's a building that juts out all the way to here? You wouldn't be able to do that. It would have to stay in context and line with what's already there. Because you see like how homes are now cut off from the rest of the block?
Yes.
That would be eliminated going forward.
So
How, like, how many stories?
would be 7 to 8.
You see it? Yes. But that video, you will see exactly.
It's gone up to 8 stories.
Will that video also
Depends how
have
much
the
land we have.
survey that we have to fill out?
No, the presentation set has links to the survey.
Okay.
All of it. Yes. I want you to be very like certain, like that, all of that is in there.
And so that's not any of these.
This is just so that you would know. Well, the one that you're looking at has the report, so you can put your camera on it and you would see the report. It also has the mayor's City of Yes plan, and then it has, this is a specific report that was done for CD17 for housing, and then this is the borough president.
Okay, so these are just reports. There are no surveys.
There's no surveys in that, that's information.
Okay, you're giving it.
Can we get the man in the back?
But I also live here, so I'm curious, having Zoom meeting with more people, and this.
We could definitely do a Zoom meeting, but we wanted to, the reason why we wanted this to be in person, because number one, we wanted to have people the opportunity to do more interactive things, such as, we know there are plenty of like underutilized buildings in our community, but we need to have space and time to envision what would we like to see there. Like that way, we have a sense of what the community needs and wants, and we can actually start to place that on specific sites, so that when we know that people are purchasing these properties for development, they usually don't do the community engagement, but we would have already had a sense of, actually, these are the things that the community that lives here already is interested in. What can we do for that?
And we also didn't want to leave those who were more comfortable having a person out. So that's why we're gonna have both.
Yeah, 1,500, that's what they're actually looking for, higher.
If we
As many as we can get. It's 150,000 people live here, so as many people as people can get to
10,000.
learn information and then vote. That's what we want. We want to have, our goal is engagement and to have our community actually be heard.
Because you know what happens on one video? If we get those signatures, the mayor is going to know that we are an active community, okay? We get 10, 15,000 surveys done, and I'm telling you, City Hall is gonna be taking a look at that.
So you know, organizations have to get involved, actually.
Let's do this.
Let's,
I have business cards and let's do this.
Or the,
sorry, Chair Hunt.
On the City of Yes.
How did I vote? It was unanimous, the board,
I except one person.
one person. One person abstained, right?
Yeah.
It was unanimous. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it was one abstention,
No. So.
sorry, the lady.
The way, yes. The way, well, for City of Yes, the only way you can have, there's no vote, it's not like it's on a ballot, but you can have your input by going to your city council members and telling them what you think and what you don't want.
So let me mention how the process works in this case, right? So we have started the basic level, which is the committee board. All committee boards have basically given their feedback as this, or going into July 15th. After that, it goes to the borough president. He's going to take a look at this plan. He will also give advisory comments. He can't kill it. He can't, push it forward. He can just give advice, right? And then it's gonna go above to what is known as the City Planning Commission, which is an appointed body that looks at zoning across the city, right? So every large zoning proposal around the city, they take a look at it, they say, okay, well, they look at the merits and they say yes or no. They can kill it, right? They can say yes, no, yes with additions, no with additions, right? And then from them, it will go to city council. And generally, around rezonings, city council is usually the people we need to speak to, because generally, in the city of New York, we have something called member deference. Right? What that means is that it's a big city. If I'm a council member in the Bronx, I've never been to East Flatbush. I don't know what's happening down there. So I'm going to defer to the person who represents East Flatbush. And I'm going to vote the way they want, because I might want something from my district, and I want them to vote for the way I want, right? And so, again, after they vote, so they can also kill this. And then generally, it goes to the mayor, but generally, the mayor is the person that's organizing everything below them. They want to get everyone else in line so they can just sign off and it's done. So again, this comes from the Adams administration. So he's not gonna say no. He spent a lot of time, a bunch of meetings, Zooms, he does website. He's not gonna say no after putting this much work into it. So again, if you want to have the most input, there's gonna be different public hearings. There will probably be a public hearing from the Borough President's office. There'll be probably a hearing with the City Planning Commission, but definitely talk to your council member. And in this case, we're talking about Councilmember Joseph and Councilmember Lewis.
Let me just interject for 1 second. Just said Pastor Galbraith would like to speak just for a second before he has to go. But I want to first thank you for letting us host the space. Use the space.
I just wanted to say welcome. We're always want to be welcome and open towards this work, and we've been doing our due diligence concerning this, and power to people. Blessings.
I would think that. Just some, okay, after this comment, then I just want to say a couple of things. Okay, go ahead. Yes, okay, two more, yes, it's okay.
Okay, I just want to be sure that we get time for someone to ask, that we get to talk about this before.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. I am the chief of staff of Councilmember Farrell Lewis's office. So I heard everybody's comments. I would like to give you all my number and my email.
Your name is?
Shona, S-H-O-N-A.
Wait. Not type it, write it.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm typing.
N-A, last name T-U-N, C-A-N.
Duncan?
Yep, phone number 646-901-1483. Again, 646-901-1483. My email address is.
You did say it from Farrell, though.
Yes, I'm the chief of staff. Email address.
Mr. Danny, you answer the phone?
Yeah.
1 second.
What's email, please? Email?
I'm sorry.
Email, please?
It's S-H-N
Right. A lot of things have been created by
at council.nyc.gov. nyc.gov.
S-H-D.
What's your first name?
Shona, S-H-O-N-A.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm still here, I'm in the back.
Okay, one last time and then we have to. Sorry, could you stand for wait for the end?
When this information goes out, the information on the gets to the board.
Well, once we get people, we'll take photographs of it and we'll include it. But I'll probably make it like 2 emails because that will take longer for us to process.
Thank you very
Okay?
much for answering my question.
Yes. Now, on to State level, that's the Interborough Express is a project, I don't know, how many of you, growing up here, you definitely noticed about the rail track that's around the community, right? Well, the governor has a plan to turn that into commuter light rail. So you know it's been basically industrial freight trains that come like very rarely, right? Maybe now you're starting to see it a little bit more. Well, they would like to turn that into a commuter light rail that would actually have increased usage that would connect Sunset Park to Jamaica, Jackson Heights, Queens. So that's what this red line around here is. And with that will come zoning changes. But those are conversations that are having now that we can have an impact on. We can actually, there are 3 stations that are planned to be in our area, and that's at Utica, Remsen, and also at Flatbush.
Utica what?
We believe it will be Utica and at Farragut, like right where.
Glenwood.
Yeah, if you know where this market is.
No, it'll more likely the side where the car washes and where Rocky, you know where that is? That's more likely where the stations would be.
Okay.
So you know where that dilapidated car wash is at the corner of Farragut and Utica? There, or across the street. So remember, at one point, Rocky was for sale, and now it's not, because we're most likely waiting for when the state comes to try to purchase either side of that to make a station. But this is an opportunity for us as a community to say, what are the things we want? Because we know that will mean an impact on zoning up and down Utica Avenue. That will most likely mean higher buildings, but it'll also mean an opportunity for new infrastructure to be put in, which has been lacking in our community. And it will be potential, what we have to be concerned about is eminent domain, especially for some of the homes that are around there, that are not, people are not aware of this.
Okay, so the way your proposal is.
Our proposal has nothing to do.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna ask, because your proposal is, that's where all the businesses, small businesses is over there for the cars, your mechanics and all of that. So if they come in effect, that just washes that out. Am I correct?
There is potential for that, and that's why we have to be speaking up to the states and the governor to let them know about what we want, because the reality is they're having conversations with people in Queens about what is going to happen and what they want. But we're not having conversations about the stations that are actually going in our community.
So this is going to be used something like the Frampton Avenue.
This will be like the LIR. So, and we don't know what's the noise impact of this. What, is an opportunity for us to get other things that we need, or wanted in this community and don't have. Or to fix the dumping site that has always been there, right?
Ms. Martinez, I'm with Community Board 17 as well. And we just want to remind you, whether we're pro-development or anti-development, a lot of this will have health implications.
Yes. And environmental.
Environmental and health, because we can smell development. I'm lucky that I live on a landmark block, but that does not exclude me. There are more trucks coming in, the air is thicker, there's more garbage, there's more water, there's more everything. So what I'm looking at, I worked in the Bronx, I'm a school teacher by trade, and I work in the Bronx. And that cross Bronx is usually congested. And we know that there's a higher incidence of asthma. So we can also see what's coming. So we have to focus on the health implications as well. Especially since Black people already have adverse health issues. So we need that somewhere, we need to keep putting that in there.
Anything else on the agenda?
Go ahead.
I just want to recap a couple of things. One, the comments tonight were that the community board needs, I'm paraphrasing, needs to be more active in the community. The way to get what you are asking for is to call the community board's number, which is
718-434. You guys getting this? Do you want me to repeat it again?
718.
434-3072.
So I need your help to get the community board to hire, to fill that vacant position for somebody who's going to go out in the community to deal with the seniors who want, for example, a face-to-face contact. I need your help to do that. So call the chairperson and ask them to fill that position. Also, we thank the city council representative for coming up tonight. Call her and express your opinion on the city of yes. She needs to hear from you to know how to vote. And then third, just remember, what was I gonna say? You have my contact information? Everybody has that. And you know what?
What time is the meeting on the third?
Okay, it's 7 p.m. But we are out, let me be clear, please. There are no meetings in July and August. They give us a little break. Okay, so the board meets the third Wednesday of every month from September through June. We have our last meeting. That's it for me. Yes.
Okay, so just want to close up because we were trying to finish by 8:30. Again, I will be actually leading the community tours. So again, we mentioned before, we'll be doing 3 different types of tours around the community, just to give folks a sense of zoning and how it connects to what we see in different parts of the areas. So again, we will be sending out those details so you can sign up in the email with, I guess, some of the information that we're sending out. Also, before you please leave, we want to make sure that we receive our post survey. You should have gotten one from our colleague August, just so we want to see what you guys have learned in this conversation.
Granted, we know you want to learn more. Had you be able to see what you was talking about your presentation?
Yes, but you will see.
And then the other thing too is that, you know, ask your daughter, your son to go online to the community board and fill out the survey there. Because we need those surveys filled out as soon as possible.
And you can fill out surveys here as well.
I'm sorry, Chair.
Yes, to all, because the city is always one for all volunteers. I saw an application. I wanted to do it. Involved. You know, if we're trying to target 1,500 sign up, that's, you know, one person calling 100 people or 100 people calling 15 people. We need help. We need to spread the word, you know, that you came to this meeting. Tell people about this meeting. Tell people what rezoning looks like, what's happening throughout the community, and like how we can change it. Let people know the reason buildings are going up is because community board 17 rezoning application is denied. We want to get them, you know, approved. So just have these conversations, encourage people, you know, have the email forward and somebody like, we need help. Give volunteers to staff, even at full capacity support staff, full times, and that's not enough to reach 150,000 people. So.
Also, we collect stories, and that's an opportunity for you to say and share exactly what you're experiencing. And just to talk about the environmental part, Brooklyn Level Up is actually, we got funding to do 2 projects this summer. Because like I said before, we're third highest when it comes to lead in our soil. We are doing a free soil testing project. We'll test 150 homes. We know people grow food and root vegetables tend to grow exactly at the level of lead in soil. So we are testing for free. You can sign up for that. And then we also have a paid youth internship to help learn and introduce young people to the Green Economy. They will be doing the soil testing. So if you know anyone who's young, 14 and up, wants to do that and get a chance to be paid to do that work, please do that. And it's important that we are able to map the impact of lead in our community, and that means we need you to sign up to get your soil testing. It's free.
One final thing, thank you so much for coming. It was so encouraging to see everybody who came out tonight. Thank you very much. If you want to see another example of what rezoning really means, continue driving down or walking down Farragut Road. You'll see on the other side of Flatbush. What you're seeing on our side of Farragut Road, you will not see. That is what rezoning really means. So, thank you.
Just about.